My name is Sonny Rose, Sunny Rose.
Wow, very nice name. Sun and Rose.
Uh-huh.
Ah. Tell me about your birthday. When were you born?
May 1st, 1933,
Where?
Dallas, Texas.
Ah. So, introduce your family when you were growing up, your parents and your siblings, what they were doing and so on.
My father was Eugene Rose. My mother was Alice Rose.
Mm-hmm.
We grew up in Dallas, Texas, and various other parts of Texas. I don't exactly remember all the names because I didn't stay there too long. I came out to Arkansas.
Arkansas?
And then after that, staying there for a few years, I came to California.
Wow, so you moving around. How about your siblings?
They moved various places too.
I mean, how many siblings did you have?
2 brothers and 2 sisters.
Huh? So, 3 sons and 3 boys and 2 sisters. Okay. And what high school did you graduate?
I graduated from University High School.
Where?
I believe it's located at Texas, Barrington, and near Santa Monica Boulevard.
In Dallas?
No, California.
California.
Uni High. They call it Uni High, University High School.
Uh-huh. When?
1951, between 51, I believe 1952.
So, did you know that there was a Korean War going on?
Yes, I signed up for the Korean War. I volunteered and signed up for the Korean War. Pretty soon they would be drafting me, so I just went ahead and volunteered.
Did you know anything about Korea at the time?
Only what I read in the papers or saw on the news.
What did you know?
Oh, that they were in combat, they were involved in a war over there. That's one of the things I know.
Did you know where Korea was at the time?
Did I know where it was? Yes, listening to the news and watching and looking at the map.
But did you learn from the school about Korea in history class?
I believe that sometimes they would mention that, and then I saw it on the newspapers,
Uh-huh.
and I also saw it on the television.
All right, so when did you actually enlist?
I enlisted in 1953.
Do you remember the month?
I think, wait a minute, I'm not too sure about that.
Was it summer or spring?
It might have been February or March, somewhere around there. I'm not too sure about that.
And did you enlist to what, Navy or
The Army.
Army?
The Army.
And where did you get the basic training?
First we went to Camp Roberts. We went there. We didn't receive training there. We went there. Then we went to Fort Lewis, Washington, where I received my training.
Fort Lewis.
Camp Roberts. Fort Lewis, Washington,
Yeah.
where I received my training.
Mm-hmm. And did you know that you're going to go to Korea?
After so long, I don't know if they told us when we first got there, but I did know I was going to Korea.
So what was your specialty?
1st Infantry Regiment, infantry. I believe we were in the infantry.
You were in infantry, right? Rifleman?
I would say rifleman, yeah.
And what was your
BAR,
unit?
BAR rifleman.
What was your unit?
123rd Infantry Regiment.
123rd.
Infantry Regiment.
Of what division?
Army.
Army division. What division? Do you remember?
All I remember right now is 123rd Infantry Regiment. That's all I remember.
Okay. So, when did you leave for Korea?
I didn't leave for Korea because right after the basic training, about 2 or 3 months after the basic training was over,
Uh-huh.
the war was over.
Right.
So, I didn't see any action.
Okay. And where did you go then?
Well, we stayed around there where I was, Woodward, Washington, and pretty soon I was released, or whatever you want to say. I was released from the Army.
Ah. So it was a very short service.
Well, 3 years, 53 to 56, 1953 to 1956.
So where did you serve? After Fort Lewis, the basic training, where did you go?
That was it. My full time was there.
Got it. So when were you discharged? 1956?
Yes.
Uh-huh. What did you do?
After the service, after the service, I tried to get a job or two here or there. And one of the first places that I worked was construction work.
I see.
Sometimes it takes a while.
Sure.
I did construction work after that.
Take your time. It's a long time ago, right?
Yeah, I did construction work, and then after the construction work, I went around in various places to see if I could get some steady work or steady employment.
Uh-huh.
And I went to the city of Santa Monica. But before I went to the city of Santa Monica, I went to the airport. I got a job at the airport.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the airport, I got a job with the city of Santa Monica. And I worked for sanitation department. After sanitation department, I worked at a place called the City Yards, Cloverfield in Michigan. And I worked there on sanitation truck, sanitation department. And after the sanitation department, I worked my last job before retirement. That job was working on the Santa Monica Promenade.
Mm-hmm.
I worked there for 10 years. And after that time was up, I retired.
Mm-hmm. What is the impact of your military service upon your life?
I learned quite a lot from that. That you love your country and you do what you can to protect your country, and you participate in that service. And I learned I learned that we work with a lot of different people from a lot of different cities and states and all like that, different races of people. And you learn how to work together to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. In this case, we were involved in a war and so forth.
So what do you know about the Korean War? Why is it important? Was it important to you? And was it important in the history of America? What do you know? Tell me about anything you have some kind of opinions about the Korean War.
It's like I said, it's been a long time. I don't remember every detail of why we were fighting, but I knew we were fighting this nation, and they were fighting us. I don't remember quite all the details that were involved, but I knew we had a certain amount of disagreements between the two nations.
Yeah.
And we went to war with them over those disagreements. And so the war was over.
But as a Korean War era veterans, are you proud of yourself being Korean War veteran?
Yes, because I believe as far as I knew, I believe I was doing somewhat the right thing. It's my country,
Mm-hmm.
and we were involved in this warfare, this misunderstanding, this disagreement, whatever you want to call it. And sometimes when you have those problems, although it's far from our nation, and sometimes you go to those wars for different reasons. I don't know if it's because you signed a contract with that nation that if one nation's attacked, that the other nation will fight with it. And if it's necessary to do that, to stop from the enemies or people who are trying to destroy that nation, or maybe even come over here and destroy our nation, that we agree to fight together.
Do you have any message to our young generations about military service?
I have any message.
You want to say something to our young generations about military? Or any other message?
Have pride in your country. Okay, always have pride in your country. Be informed on all the history and all that's going on in your country. And always keep up on the news, what's going on, so that you will be informed. Don't just take the leaders, although you've chosen that leader, but nobody is perfect, and we all make errors. And be very careful, keep up on the news, and be very careful who you select as your leaders. There's an old saying that sometimes wolves come in sheep's clothing. Okay? And we got a lot of leaders in the world right now are leading people down the wrong path. So be very careful, up to date, informed, listen, and don't just choose by whether they're a Democrat or a Republican. Don't just choose whether they're white or they're black. You know?
Very good point, Sonny. Thank you very much telling your story to me, and so that many people will hear from you about your service.
Yeah.
And thank you very much for serving this country.
Thank you.
Thank you.